Good morning, it's 9 a.m. and we are here for consent agenda review work session. I'm just reviewing the agenda.
That was the only item I had a question about. It just didn't. I was gonna put it-
Reimbursements.
Yeah, just minor stuff. Extension for the board for the hangar.
Well, I mean, I would say this is pretty much a done deal there.
Somebody else wanted funding like that for one of the fairgrounds, but can't do several.
Yeah, we need a process of how we select or limit or
Something.
how you do it. Not just yeah, you're gonna call 600 times, so yes. Almost like basically as a grant.
I think they all should have the application at the first of the year or something.
Yeah, or you just have it always done at who you're paying the money to annually. That's who you pay to have it done, not random people. And they could easily be on animal outreach board. Why did you need to create your own? Because you don't like how that one runs, so join in.
Dell is on the meeting to discuss the opioid abatement as you requested yesterday. He is now a panelist.
All right, Dell, how are you?
Doing great. How are y'all?
Marndell, good.
Were you able to get together some knowledge on the 225,000?
250,000. Yes.
All right,
Yeah. Are you at a point where you're ready to discuss that?
I think so.
Okay. So, since I royally failed my pop quiz yesterday, I was able to get a hold of Leah Becknell, who helps facilitate our diversion panel meetings to go over this. I'd missed the one in September. So there's a series of things with this. This ties into our regional diversion panel, which is the 4 county panel for developing a diversion center, which is basically a crisis response center at somewhere in our four-county region. And so the purpose of that would be that as individuals in the communities are experiencing a crisis, they'd have somewhere locally that they could uh, be assessed. And then if there's potential criminal charges as well, they could go to this diversion facility instead of going to jail and get the treatment that they need, help stabilize them, and then return, and they could have their hearings there as well. And then when they come back to the community, they can continue to be stabilized here in the community. This panel's met for about 5 years now, and I am a member of that panel, and Cindy attends with me as well. The uh, Commissioner Overbay in Chelan County has been trying to think, how do we keep moving forward on this? And so if you'll remember, a little over 2 years ago, we had a group come to the county called Connections. And Connections came and did what was called a SIM, which is sequential intercept mapping. And they met with law enforcement, the judicial system, the mental health system, our hospital systems to develop a map of all of the services that are in our area to see how we could function with this diversion center. Then this same group Connections returned last year to do a follow-up. And so each of the counties were involved in that. And so that's where that interlocal agreement comes in, is that the interlocal agreement that was signed was to bring all four counties together to support Connections from Arizona coming in to perform that SIM mapping for the four-county region. So that's where the interlocal agreement comes in. There was also a fee that was paid by each county for their portion of that SIM mapping as that was completed. Now, Commissioner Overbay is trying to say, how do we move forward on this, on building this building and operating this building that would function as this crisis response center supporting our four-county region? And so in conversations with Connections, he was referred to Douglas County, Kansas, and Lane County, Oregon, to take a look at the process they went through when they developed this type of center. A center also recently opened over in Kirtland, Washington as well. And so they're trying to look at the different ideas of how communities plan for this facility and what process that they use to go through. After reviewing the processes of Douglas County, Kansas, and then Lane County, Oregon, they thought the process that they'd like to follow is what Lane County, Oregon did. And so they took a look at their RFP. And in that RFP that they did, so for the request for proposals they did, there were two sections in that. There was a section for pre-service planning and a section for operations. And so Leah took that information and created a draft RFP to give to Commissioner Overbay. And then Commissioner Overbay took that draft RFP and then sent that to each group of commissioners from each county, each of the four counties, or the commissioner representative of each county for the diversion panel. And so this is a draft RFP. It's the first attempt of an RFP. So literally what they want us to do is to review the RFP. And then on the meeting on 10/16, so October 16th at 1 p.m., they'd like us to comment and to share what our thoughts are on RFP, any changes that we'd make to it. The dates that are in there start October 1st. So those dates were just put in as just to get the process moving, but there's been nothing decided. This is the very first draft that's been put together, and it was based on the Lane County, Oregon RFP process that they went through there. However, with that said, there was also an email to commissioners that was requesting $250,000 from each county. And so the $250,000 comes from the pre-service planning of the RFP. In Wayne County, they spent 18 months going over this project and spending 18 months in that service planning, which cost Lane County about $1 million. And so Commissioner Overbay's request with the 250,000 was to come up with the funds to support the pre-service planning of the RFP, which could last about 18 months. And that 250,000 could come from a variety of areas for the county to fund it. It could come from the opioid abatement funds that are within our county. It could come from whatever other county fund that we have that could support that. But that is the current ask. There is a commitment from each county to at least pay $250,000 to help with the pre-service planning, which would last up to 18 months. Then the ongoing commitment would be the second part of the RFP, which is operations. So once a facility gets built or renovated, whatever the decision will be, then eventually a program is going to take over that facility and run services, but there's going to have to be a way to make those services sustainable and to keep beds open in the facility. And so Chelan County's idea for that is to utilize the 1/10 of 1% mental health tax to help fund the operations for the portion for their county. We don't know across the 4 county region how much it's going to cost to operate. That has not been a discussion yet. It's just trying to think of how, if we have this facility long term, how will we fund it and how will we operate the program? Again, we haven't in Grant County, we have not put the 1/10 of 1% on the ballot. Commissioner Overbay is thinking he would like that prepared for each of our counties on the next ballot. Again, these are ideas; they're not set in stone. But that's what I have for you so far is just the background on that. This RFP is in the very first initial draft phase. We have opportunity to share our comments, to continue to work on this at the meeting in middle of October. And the 250 commitment is to help with that pre-service planning that can last up to 18 months. So I said a mouthful. So any questions I'd be willing to take as well.
Thank you, Dale. Apparently that was the meeting that we should not have missed because there was so much that was discussed.
Actually, in the meeting, this was not discussed. In the meeting, I got the meeting notes as well, was more about the sim mapping and planning. But these were discussions that were outside of that meeting. And this was Kevin's attempt, Commissioner Overbay's attempt to really try to get things moving so that we can keep things progressing. The building and the RFP weren't necessarily discussions that were a part of the meeting.
Okay, well, thank you for that.
Yeah, and I think that's where the confusion came.
In the dark, yeah, thank you, Dale.
Yes. Yeah, and Leah, when as far as mentioned, she didn't expect that RFP was sent. So Leah did develop the RFP, but you were attached. That was sent to you as an attachment, and that wasn't necessarily meant to go out to everybody yet. So
Okay.
So I think it's caused some confusion.
Is there a draft RFP available to see?
Yes,
We have it.
that's where what's being referenced. So Cindy has that.
Or do I have that? I think Tom.
Yeah, I got it this morning, so I can forward it as well. Tom also has that.
Rob and Kevin, I forwarded this to you on Friday around 10 a.m.
So Dell, I just want to ask, what are your thoughts on this? Is this something we should go regional, or I'm very hesitant, the 0.1%?
Yeah, I understand the hesitation on the 1/10 of 1%. What it does for the county, though, it does give you flexibility on your mental health services and treatment for individuals. So those are funds that could potentially be used to do more behavioral health treatment in the jails. You could do operate stabilization programming, and so it really gives you that flexibility that you don't have with other funds. But I understand there's hesitation when you look at just what other counties have done. They've used it to support the mental health treatment in jails by hiring the those mental health professionals that are embedded in the jails, as well as crisis stabilization programming. In Benton and Franklin counties, they've used the funds to help purchase and begin the renovations for a 80-bed unit for substance use mental health treatment. They converted the old not the old like the old Kennewick General Hospital into a 77, 80-bed unit there with those funds. So there are things that can benefit the county and the residents of Grant County with the funds, but I also understand the hesitation there. As far as the 1/10 is concerned.
If we're not gonna consider doing the 1/10, then I don't think we should spend the 250.
Yeah. You'd also ask, like, what my opinion is of this is I think there's challenges with having the regional facility. I've been a member of this panel for 5 years, and I think it's had a lot of great movement. The idea of it is that we would have a local place that law enforcement could drop people off, or the individuals could come and be assessed, and then they would be sent to this diversion center to have their treatment. Well, transportation is an issue. You also have the issue of leakage that occurs in our managed care contracts where someone leaves our county to get treatment. Those are dollars that we lose. And so if we can keep them within our county and provide all treatment here, then that's money that stays within the county. And so there's issues with that. I also think there's issues from a judicial perspective that if you're holding the hearings, yes, those can be done virtually, but and I'm not an expert on judicial processes, but I believe that we lose the jurisdiction. If someone goes to a different county, we don't have jurisdiction anymore. And so how does that get coordinated? And what does that look like? And so my question is about the panel is, could Grant County do this on our own with our own resources and actually do this for our own residents here in Grant County? And would that be sustainable? I think as I express that opinion, I think there's challenges in that as well. I think it'd be very difficult to operate something just on our own and to keep the doors open just on our own, housing our own people. And so I think that's why this regional perspective has been looked at. But I've been supportive of the panel and the work that's been done from a regional perspective, but I do believe there's challenges with it. So I don't know if that gives you a good straight answer or not.
So, but don't we have the money that we bring in for behavioral health? Isn't it, Grant County, isn't it about the same as Chelan and Douglas? Or, I think for behavioral health.
Yeah, it's pretty similar as far as the way the managed care organizations work. But you just have to remember that a lot of those funds are service revenue. And so it's restricted. So a lot of the funds we're receiving into our programs are Medicaid. And so that can't be used other than to do the outpatient service side of it. So you can't use it to operate until you have met the threshold of your service provisions. So then once you've met that threshold, then your Medicaid funds could be used. Will lose the restriction. And so you have to come up with a process from a county perspective how you can use those. But yeah, it should be similar across the 4 counties. It's not too different.
Okay. Well, I just know that we were on the BHO, that we were
Yeah.
a big player there.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Del, and thanks for calming my mind here, because I totally, I didn't understand. So if they had a.
Yeah. Yesterday it got brought up. I hadn't heard
Yeah,
of this
I was
part
like,
of it.
at
I
a
knew we've been
loss.
driving towards a facility, but this was the first time I had heard that there was an RFP, there was a process for us to look at, and an amount of 250. So that was yeah, that was new to me as well.
Okay, good. I'm glad I wasn't the only one in the dark.
The other, like I said, the opioid abatement funds would also be appropriate use of that 250 as well. So if you're not looking at the 1/10 of 1%, then that would be another option as well. So just, yeah.
The fund is growing. It's much bigger than what it started out, what we anticipated it would be. So there is quite a bit of funding there.
Yes. But Cindy, for our next meeting, if you want to have the three of you any comments on the RFP or questions, we'd be able to take those to the next panel meeting and ask those questions.
Mhm. Okay. I'm sure we will have some comments for that.
Yes. Yeah. I think it's important our voice is heard. So,
Yep. Thank you, Dell.
yep. Anything else that you need from me this morning?
Thanks, Dell.
Yeah, you bet. Thank you.
Did you guys talk about number 7? If you did, I didn't catch it.
Yeah, just trying to figure out a way to have a process of how we actually select how we're gonna do that.
I believe we did 1,800 or 2,000 to the other.
Yeah, we just need some way that we,
Can't we amend that? And give them less than 7,000?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
we need a process. It's important, shipping, spaying, neutering. But if we're gonna pay 100,000 to a shelter, you would think that you would be giving them additional funding to do those things. And everyone would be going there, working together at a hub.
They did say they're working together.
They all want to kind of do their own things. Can't get as much done.
I think if, once that is built, then that should be where the funds go to. If they want to do it, they can just do it out there. Instead of having 4 or 5. Like that's what's happening right now.
Yeah, and it doesn't make sense why. I mean, it's a board. They have a hard time keeping an animal outreach board because, you know, they have to go in and clean and do stuff that you normally wouldn't have to do. What's the abatement fund at right now? Or do we know a budget number? I just not be able to see.
Abatement fund under our,
The settlement? It's opioid settlement. There's
oh,
not,
that one. Okay, sorry. I'm thinking of the abatement fund through Public Works.
there's not even 250,000 in there.
For our opioid,
Yeah,
we should have,
it says April.
we have more than 250.
Here's a June. Let me see. of our
I am
said abatement in this thing? Abatement fund, 314 in June. Yeah, there's definitely not enough money there. More than that.
Caitlin can assist. Do you have the fund number? that you're
I
looking
already,
for?
yeah, I'm
You
looking
got
at it.
Okay.
I just thought we've got more than that. We have received more than that because of our,
The ending fund balance should have more, but if it's a fund that I think you're talking about, then the one that we pay like the opioid abatement council invoices from, we only ever moved the amount that was needed to pay those invoices out of the ending fund balance.
it's slowly pulling up. Do you know what the ending fund balance is? Do you have access to that or do we need email?
I can probably find it. What's the fund number for it?
150.
One moment.
Computer is still pulling it up. Well, I will say I'm not a fan of doing the 0.1% sales tax increase.
Yeah, no.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
I think that Fund 150 is abatement, like property abatement, isn't it?
Could
Are
be.
you wanting the opioid settlement?
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
Can't find it on my June budget. Found it on April. And I closed it.
When I look at what I have, I only see what's budgeted, but Mandy sent like 8 spreadsheets over, so I'll keep looking and I'll let you guys know if I find anything.
Did you find what budget it was?
Oh, it's 137, I believe.
Okay, so 1.4 million. That's much better.
Okay, 137. I show that judgments and settlements.
The 137,001 I have as opioid settlement on the July reports.
That could be 1.4 million.
If it's the whole thing and not just Okay, well, it's 9:30 a.m. and we're going to roll into the Sheriff's Office update with Josh Sainsbury. Howdy.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, Josh.
How are you guys?
Like the best day ever. Took me
What's
about
new in your world?
Nothing,
Oh,
at least that I know of yet.
All is well in the kingdom then.
It's steady, all kinds of things going, but yeah. Trying to finish some end of the year stuff, budget season.
Fun stuff.
Yeah. Pull out the needs, the wants.
I wouldn't anticipate that nobody puts a want in their budget, ever.
Oh, yeah,
As David knows, said, you don't know if you don't ask.
that's right.
oh, here comes the rest of the clan. I figured you were just filling in today.
No, I'm here for the tasers
Oh,
surplus.
We were hoping you were gonna bring one so we could test it out.
You would definitely want the old ones, because they don't hurt, because they don't work.
I don't know if I want any taser.
The new ones are cool.
This would be
Yeah,
great.
40 feet,
Oh,
yeah.
perfect.
They're like that accurate at 40 feet,
Looks like.
the new tasers.
good morning, Mansford, Treat Coats.
Morning. Good
You
morning.
were already introduced. I thought Josh was filling in for you guys today.
Oh, no, sorry for weird. It was in the middle of something.
Turned out he wasn't.
Sorry about that.
He was just holding down the fort.
Perfect. This day's pretty packed, so time kind of got away from me pretty quick, so. Couple things I want to talk to you about today is, the first one, we met this morning to start kind of going over some staffing and placement of personnel with the new facility before it gets opened, and I'm gonna guess probably around June, by the time we get certification of occupancy. We went through, we're looking at the support side of things and what it looks like, where our support staff's gonna be, job duty assignments and things like that. So on the support side of things, we are going to be down some personnel. We looked at some recommendations from the National Institute of Corrections, as well as what basically our necessities are, what our needs are, not what our wants or what would be nice to have, but what our wants are. Over the period of time, we're going to probably have to eventually add somewhere between 6 to 8 new support staff. However, I'm not going to request that all at once. I'm not going to do that. I think for us to operate and get the facility open to where we can actually function the facility with both pods, talking about opening, not just the one, but with both pods, we'll probably need 3 additional support staff. So you may see that in our budget coming up in 2026 for 3 additional support staff for that. With the facility being basically 3 times the size of the facility we have now, the population is going to be triple. I guess it'd be kind of the equivalent of trying to take the personnel of the Lake Police Department and going to operate in the city of Moses Lake to perform law enforcement services there. It just doesn't work. We're much larger than that. So that's what it's coming down to with our support staff. So we're trying to get it to a point where we can have a minimum group to be able to open the facility, function with it, and operate it effectively. So by going through that stuff this morning that we took time for, looks like it's gonna be about 3 people that we'll be able to do with support staff to get it going. We're still a long ways away from making the recommendations for ourselves to move forward as far as what it's gonna look like with the complete staffing. I'm kind of requesting some information from, I don't know if, I'm not totally sure if Tom has it, and I asked him to find out what the personnel number they were using to establish for the staffing of there, because it seems to think we're going off our memory, and if our memory serves correctly, they were going like by 65 personnel that we have for the jail, including support, but we don't have that. We have 49 commissioned correction staff to work in the facility as corrections deputies. So we have 16 support staff. So we're short of that. I don't know, and like I said, I don't know what those numbers were based on up there as far as the operation for the opening of the facility, but we're trying to go through internally to find out what our must-haves are, not our wishes, but our must-haves. So we'll be going through as budget comes to look at what those are. So a little bit early for us to say exactly what those numbers are right now, but we're diligently working through that process currently as we move forward. Any questions on that at all? Nada. I'd like to go into executive.
Just that there was supposed to be no increase needed in staff at the new facility.
Yeah, we understand that. It comes from
Just a
staff.
reminder.
I know, but we do understand that does come from architects and people that aren't in the corrections field. We do understand that.
I get that.
Yeah.
But he's built how many?
No, exactly.
400 or
Yeah,
something.
I understand that. But it's, again, our facility we have is a third of the size.
Mhm.
And
I agree.
we're not gonna be able to do it.
Don't fill the building, Joe.
Yeah, we're not gonna be able to do it with our
Look at
existing
the
staff. We're just not gonna be able to. And I'm just being transparent and real with.
For a shift, what will you need to add?
We'll need to add at least 3 more support staff. And that's all we really went through today was our support side,
Yeah.
as far as that goes. Because we don't have 2 control rooms anymore. We have 3, and 2 of them are completely away from our central control room. And that's just control room staff. So, and of the positions we have, 3 of those operators are going to be 24/7 stations, or 2 of those stations will be 24/7 operations. So NIC says for every 24-hour post that you have, you should have 5 staff to fill that 24-hour post. They staff a little heavy, NIC does, which is smart. I'm not saying it's not, but we need to get down to the point, what's realistic for us? And so for us, 5 for each of those 24/7 posts is not realistic because that takes 10 people right there and we only have 9 on the support side. So that immediately right now, it just takes it completely out of the equation. If we went by the National Institute of Corrections recommendations, we'd need 8 more personnel. That's, to me, is not realistic. First of all, we can't get 8 hired that
Per
quick, first
shift?
of all.
Or total?
No, total,
Oh.
total, yeah. So to me, that's not realistic immediately because look how long it's taken us to hire the people we've been short. I mean, I was 14 down in corrections when I was elected and I think 9 on patrol. And now we're at still short 1 on patrol and 2 on corrections. So we're
Might
getting
change
there.
with the new facility, you never know.
Yeah, you never know, and it very well could. But again, we're sitting down to find out what are we going to need to operate this facility when it opens, because it's opening in June. I mean, we're gonna be rolling. It is what it is, so.
Can we tour that together so we can get in the weeds a little bit on that?
Yes.
So like the 3 control rooms?
No, 100%,
I
that would,
didn't know there's 3 of them.
well, you got central control that's gonna be operating 24/7.
Yeah,
Then you have the control room upstairs on pod A and pod B.
okay.
Those operate the housing units,
Yeah.
right? So you have to have people in those operating the housing units. And then we're going to use our civilian staff for our data intake and our booking area for when people come in, data entry.
So
for part of
it'd be
that.
after you geared up, well, obviously higher capacity than where you're at now.
Mhm.
Will you open with both pod A and B open?
Probably not. Probably just with pod, one of the, well, I'll call it pod A, whatever which
Yeah.
one it is. Whatever the one that's gonna be the north side, because that's the one that seems to be ahead of schedule, so. So we'll have 1 pod to open with first, but we'll have both of them open before the end of the year. So we will. We just can't do both and fill it overnight or else I'll be lynched by my staff, so. And I don't wanna do that to them anyway,
It's all
so.
gonna be a learning curve.
It is.
I mean, You got a lot of unknowns over there.
100%. And so we kind of look at it as basically everybody's kind of starting on field training programs again. Because it's a completely different process than we're doing right now. And they're going to start training up there around November to start going through what the process looks like, what it looks like when you're at these posts, what are your duties going to be at these posts. So
That makes sense.
we're going to try to get ahead of the curve a little bit, the best we can, as early as we can to get up there and start going through the facility with the design and the efficiency it's built for. It's going to be completely different for everybody.
Yeah,
It really,
it's huge.
yeah, it really truly is. So we're trying to get ahead of the curve a little bit before we get up there to at least try to forecast a little bit and try to keep you in the loop. So you're not surprised by anything as we move forward. I mean, my 3 to 5 year plan is to get those 8 positions filled if we can, in 3 to 5 years. But that's not my 1 year plan. I think to be realistic, it's got to be over time. So that's kind of the vision of it moving forward. So, yeah. So that way, at least you're in the know. Like I said, I don't want you to be surprised. I want to be transparent with you. So any other questions on that? Okay. If we could go into executive session about a personnel issue,
Discipline or evaluation?
discipline,
How long?
10 minutes should do it, I would think, 10 minutes.
Good with all your guys here?
Yep, absolutely.
We'll be going into executive session beginning at 9:41 a.m., returning at 9:51 a.m. for personnel disciplinary matters, RCW 42.30.1101F.
Now,
Potato trucks,
is this
It
slow
is
on your scale?
9:51
No.
a.m. We are out of executive
5 miles an
session.
hour. It would look like a combine. I wonder if it was a bean.
Chuck, can you let Josh
Thrasher,
in and,
Could've been
oh,
Anyway,
potato.
they literally had to stop because the traffic to go around the roundabout was so wide.
Ah,
What's the
thank you.
overpass?
Sorry.
it's all right.
Totally forgot.
Like I told you
Harvest
before we
is in
came
the
over here,
air.
Joe, that's what you got me for, is to keep track of things.
Exactly. Those are the only real things I had on my agenda. Since these guys came, I want to make sure that they have an opportunity. If
Yep.
they have something, EM or corrections or anything else that they want to touch bases on. I know our times for all of our divisions we have in the office, so, yeah.
We have a
Nothing.
taser surplus.
Yep.
All our X26s and our 26Ps. There might be a few that are good, but a majority of those are junk. And when we upgraded to the new tasers, they don't want them back. The plan is to dispose of all of them through the incinerator.
I would hate to have one of the tasers that were maybe working, maybe not, if there was a time when I had to deploy it.
My,
That's probably a safe
my
call.
last taser actually died the last day I had it.
Okay.
Yeah, we had good use out of those 26s though. We had them for quite some
We had them
time.
a long
We really
time.
did. They were a good tool and now with the Taser 10s we have, the technology is just, it's so far advanced now. They're quite an amazing tool. Yeah, and the accuracy at the 40+ feet it's unbelievable. It's nuts.
It needs a dog when you have that taser, right?
Yeah.
Well, dog's
Dog's got a
pretty
good nose.
Dog's a pretty good tool too. That X10 doesn't smell nothing.
Yeah.
That's-
Plus,
that's-
plus that dog, just sometimes all it takes is just rolling up to a scene and rolling the window down and letting the dog bark.
Yeah.
And people's behavior changes real fast, so it's helpful.
That's
Then
fine.
again, the ARC display has always been very helpful as well. So,
We lost that ability.
yeah.
That's all we have. I don't know if the board has anything for us or any questions or anything to enlighten us on or anything like that, so.
I don't think so.
Nope, hearing none,
All
we'll
right.
go into recess. Thank you guys for coming.
Yeah.
You're alive.
Sorry for my 1 minute of tardiness.
I have not heard any.
Good morning, it's 10 a.m. and we are here for a human resources update. Is there any public comment today for HR? There's no one in the room and there's no attendees online, so I'll say no.
Okay, then I will go right into item number 2, and I'm requesting an executive session. 10 minutes, please.
Okay. We will go into executive session from 10 a.m. till 10:10 for negotiations, RCW 42.30.1404A. We're going to extend executive session for 3 minutes, coming out at 10:13 a.m.
Thank you for clarifying.
It is 10:13 a.m. We are out of executive session. Caitlin, can you adjust my form to the extended 10:13 a.m.?
Yes, sir.
10:06, I did not see us going longer than 10:10, but we managed.
Okay, I will, Rob has a motion, I'll second his motion. You follow the recommendation of. Sorry.
Okay. Next item is also executive session, actually the next
Just make,
two.
Kevin, I want to make sure you're on
Oh,
board with
sorry.
that too.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Missed that. Sorry, Kevin.
I don't want to go
Was
two
there a
against three.
motion on the record?
No, not really, but we gave direction. So
You
she
did a
just-
motion, so I didn't know if that action needs
All
to
right.
be taken outside of the executive session.
No, that was in between the first and the second.
So it's
So-
on the record.
It should be if we were in. So Rob, would you like to make your motion again or make your recommendation?
My recommendation is to allow HR to proceed forward on recommendation and negotiations.
I will second that.
Motion
Or
second,
agree with
any discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Next two topics are also going to be an executive session. Number 3, what do you need, Gina? Couple minutes? 5 minutes? Okay.
And this one's evaluation.
Yes.
All right, we'll go into executive session for 5 minutes, returning at 10:20 a.m. for evaluation, RCW 42.30.1101G.
Really?
It is 10:20, we are out of executive session. No decisions were made.
Okay, item number 4, Barb, hate to do this to you, but another executive session. We'll start with 10 minutes, please.
Is this discipline? Okay.
Yes.
We'll go into executive session for 10 minutes, starting at 10:20 a.m., returning at 10:30 a.m. for our CW 42.30.1101F. We're out of executive session. It is 10:40 a.m.
Okay, thank you.
We're on a new path.
Item number 5, position management, renewed, came to PMR yesterday. They have 4 new FTEs that they're requesting, 2 peers, 1 crisis intervention specialist, and 1 eligibility specialist. Is the board prepared to make a decision on any or all of these?
I'm a yes on all. 4, can't answer.
I would agree on that problem.
Me neither.
Okay, we will let the department know. And that is all that I had for my meeting today. Did the board have anything for us?
Probably, but I don't recall it right on the top of my head.
I will be sending out the next series of policy for you to review. I'm a little behind on getting. them
Which
out,
one is
but
that?
I think we're at the 500.
Yeah, I'm still on the clothing. There's a lot of people that wear jeans. I'm still kind of stuck on the jeans.
Well,
I
you're
mean,
the
I'm
first,
not-
you're the first one to have that
Okay.
policy, so you and I will,
Tell them it doesn't
can
work.
work on that one more specifically.
Okay.
That one's coming up.
Okay,
in
well, I
the
just don't want,
600s,
I
but-
just thought, because I would look around the courthouse and I would say 50% of our employees wear jeans. I don't want to have to force them to get a whole new wardrobe, but
You can wear suntan screen, a balloon hat, and some flip-flops. I mean, if like you're gonna do your job and not do felonies and keep working here, like that's my opinion. Like attire, I could care less if we like. That is the.
well, no.
It's weird that
because-
you're so focused on that, but then these other things that are so big, it's just like, oh, okay, not a big deal.
I think it's role dependent. I mean, he has a valid.
No, I don't think that. I think that they should dress, yeah, if you're working in this, you're gonna wear jeans, or if you're certain thing, you're on your knees, you probably might wear a jean or a Carhartt. I mean, I get all that, but
Yeah.
it's just odd to go from the one topic. And it's like a,
Well, no, I've got this
Yeah.
policy that I'm looking at, so I
I
guess that's
know,
why
I
I'm,
just-
But I just don't want to roll out this no jeans allowed and then have everybody come back to me and say, hey, you know, we updated this policy. I'm just, I guess, bringing it up for discussion because I think we've kind of changed with the times. We should allow jeans, I guess, further
Really, I
discussion.
think the board needs to look at what are the expectations? How do you want your staff to present to customers? Is it wearing jeans?
I think if you're in the view of the-
Maybe.
of the public, I don't think it's, I mean, you need to have nice clothes on. Or, you know, you can't walk around there with holes in your jeans and ratty clothes. I just think that's a bad perception for the public.
Well, in district court has kicked people out for wearing khaki shorts, and a guy came to our office several years ago and was hotter than hot, and I'm like, it's their courtroom, they can do whatever they
Get
want.
to make that
Yeah.
rule.
So whatever your guys' expectations are, is what should be reflected in that policy.
Maybe that'll be a good debate or topic when that policy hits in the next couple of weeks. We'll
Oh.
discuss it in depth.
Guarantee it will be a hot
Well, I just
topic.
wanted,
No,
you
just,
know,
I mean,
just
amongst
like
us right
hard
here,
term, we're
you know,
not
so-
doing jeans, because I think things have changed, even banks, I think on Fridays they can wear jeans, definitely it's casual down a bit, but
My question is, how does the courthouse, the courts, tell the public, you can't wear that in my courtroom? I mean, I can see if they're hanging out everywhere, that's one thing, it's, you know, not appropriate, but they're wearing nice khaki shorts and they're walking into the courtroom, they're at court, they're doing what they legally need to do, and you're kicking them out.
The judges get very specific, especially when it comes to colors you're wearing, things like that, because of the gang
I
activity.
can understand that.
So
absolutely.
they set that expectation out there beforehand, and then they do it on a case-by-case basis when people enter the courtroom. They don't even allow, I mean, we had the guards doing it, the guards did such a horrible job of doing it, that the judge contacted us and said, we'll just make the call when they come in the courtroom. So the judges are currently doing it themselves from the bench.
In a
Okay.
previous career, I had a judge, I met my client at court, and the judge, she wore a tank top, and the judge kicked her out of his courtroom. So,
oh, it happens. I just don't
Those-
want to be that severe on her.
But those are expectations.
Yeah,
The
that's
judge is
their
saying,
program.
this isn't
Their
allowed.
Yeah.
And they're
Sure.
following through with that.
Mhm.
Which is what then the board needs to consider is what are your expectations? How do you want
county
public
employees.
to view your staff? And then that's the expectation. Whether it's jeans casual Friday, whether it's no holes in jeans, but you can wear them. I mean, there's a range.
But I definitely think we need to update it, because it is an old policy, but.
Yeah.
Food for thought.
It's very,
I think
very
people
big.
dress they act the way they dress.
And Rob, to your point, I'm wondering if there needs to be further conversation.
No, it's just the same thing. I just think it's crazy. I mean, I was alone on that, but
Further dress policy?
no, it's just the two different topics, and we're more focused on the dress policy than the other topic. To me, is just like, what am I even doing here?
Well, I think the other topic we don't have a whole lot of,
I think we do, but
do we?
I mean,
Well,
I
let's go
wonder
into-
if we need
can
to go
I-
back into
I
executive
think I
session
would
to
like to
discuss
bring
that
it back
further.
into executive session to discuss that then.
okay.
Sorry, Barb.
Sorry, Barb.
Barb's like, next time I'm gonna just sit in my office and,
So we'll go into the executive session at 10:46 until 10:56.
You want to do 57 now, just change.
Sure, 57 for personnel disciplinary matters, RCW 42.30.1101F. It is 11 a.m. We're out of executive session. I need to do a continue.
maybe Daryl.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Jerome, we had a question for you last week. Where were you?
One with the headache.
Oh, no. And I'm trying to think, what was that question? Let me pull up my note.
You guys meet with Dell this morning.
We did meet with Dell.
I'm sorry, I was
And
supposed to
Tom?
be there.
For the record, they did not talk about any of this in their regional diversion meeting. It was kind of a side conversation, because I'm like, Dell and I both missed it. You were in the notes, you had to call.
Good day.
You find well.
Yeah, I talked-
Hi, guys.
yeah,
Thank
I talked to Dell for quite a bit yesterday afternoon about it, so.
I got my stuff.
Okay, let me just, Jerome, run over 11 for Beasley.
Totally get it. Thank you though.
The runoff water from Beasley, Sage Hill Road, was it 2017, 2019, we cleaned that up. There's a bunch of silt and debris that Public Works went and cleaned it
Beasley,
up.
which road?
Sagebrush Road,
Oh, okay.
coming off of Beasley, apparently it hit a farmer's field.
You got
And Rod, do you have that contract? Was it emailed to us?
Which one?
The runoff water from Beasley
No.
and Public Works, they were
Should have been
wondering,
any brain cells.
why are we cleaning this up? We can't use our Public
We're
Works
waiting
file.
for Kevin.
And Chuck Tincher signed
You
it.
removed like 13,000 cubic yards of silt from runoff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was a joint deal between
City.
Public Works and the city.
Yeah.
It's come up, it's come
They
up.
needed to do it again, and Andy from Public Works said, we can't use our road money to do this. Where does this
I
agreement
guess
come
it
from?
was
Is
Good old boys.
that what it was?
I think so.
Because
Well, my question was,
we had a
trying to
contract.
figure out what the nexus is for us to be responsible for that.
I think I can answer that.
What was it?
Years ago, there was a big flood event, came off Beasley. It was gonna flood downtown. We figured until they put that dike out there, the one that's built through there. It's not natural. You
That was
remember
the
that?
county that did that, or the city? Was an accountant,
It was the same thing, it was a
joint.
joint deal because the reason I remember it is Bud Grub was an operator then, was the only guy that could run a cab, was calling to go do it.
We're talking about the silt. I'm looking for the contract.
He went over there. and
Did we get a contract last week? Was it emailed or?
They say, well, I don't know what
printed?
we're doing this, but we're doing it.
So we kind of created.
I'm trying to remember. That was last week.
I think that's
Yeah.
what it was.
Well, Jerome wasn't
That
here
was-
for us.
It was, Cindy, it was printed. I can pull it from Laserfiche and send it to you if you'd like.
Yeah, and or just print it and I can give it to Jerome.
Quincy at the time.
You guys good to go live?
Yes. Hang tight, Jerome, and we'll get that for you. Thank you, Caitlin.
Good morning, it's 11:03 a.m. We're here for our weekly commissioners meeting. I'll now call the meeting to order and begin with an open forum for public input, 3 minutes per person, 15-minute time limit. No comments in the audience and no call-in users. So I will entertain a motion to approve the agenda as presented today.
So moved.
I'll second that.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion passes to approve the agenda as presented. Do we have any emails or letters of support that need our response?
I don't. Caitlin, do you have any?
I do not have anything.
I did respond to DT and I will give you guys an update of what he has to say about that letter after the MAC board meeting that's coming up. Commissioner roundtable. Any roundtable items? No. Any walk-on items today?
Maybe after the meeting, after we adjourn, I could talk to you about the MAC board meeting for just a couple minutes.
Yeah, tag along if you want to be an audience member. Okay, hearing none for that, then we had just the one item on consent agenda. Item 7 for the $7,000 request. Do we want to go through with that? Do we want to adjust the amount? Hold it 1 week? Is there any movement or approve it as presented?
Well, the microchipping is taking place at the end of this month.
25th. Have to
The
order,
other, I believe we gave 2,000 or 2,500 to the last.
and they have to order by the 10th, so holding it wouldn't be in their
So I would
best interest.
recommend 2,000.
I would agree with that. I don't see.
And I would think miscellaneous general government is the account that we took it out the last time. So I would take it out of that.
Okay, so in the motion, just make the adjustment of the amount requesting to be passed. And I don't believe there are any others.
No walk-ons today. No, we don't know.
Everything else was good.
Just verifying.
All right, then I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the consent agenda items 1 through 12, noting number 7, instead of the $7,000 request, to reduce that to $2,000 coming out of miscellaneous general government.
I will second that.
Motion and a second, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes to approve consent agenda items as presented by Commissioner Carter with the adjustment to 2,000 from 7,000 on consent agenda item number 7. Get all that, Barbara?
Whew. I was like, for me, a short day, I had one trips upstairs.
That's true.
You're gonna start charging us mileage.
Sorry, for the payment of that request from Animal Outreach for miscellaneous general government, last time we paid it out of the professional services line. Is that the same one that the commissioners want that paid out of this time?
Yeah, it's professional services under miscellaneous general government, correct?
Yes.
Reimbursement from the K.
I'm okay with it, yes.
Good to see you.
Tom, just a reminder, I want to meet with you too.
Yes, well, you're on the.
I'll be at the one, yes, but then after that to talk about the.
Is Kevin going to one then?
Okay, what time's your Mac board?
I don't know, Thursday, I think, or next Thursday. It's usually at 9.
Hey, Thursday.
It's a Thursday.
I'll try and catch up with you right after this meeting.
Okay, sounds good, thanks.
I'm at Rob.
Oh, okay, oh.
10-7.
This one's the CDBG closeout report.
I think I'm sugar-free this week.
I don't
I don't know.
I don't want that.
I'm not coffee.
Oh, I see.
I don't like the blood yesterday. Shit, I can get it right home.
Been there.
If you want to put this,
You know?
write a note in there that's
I
down
thought
here,
it was
change to
my-
$2,000.
My family has requested that I not donate blood because
Oh, yeah,
that's
she
such
won't be
a,
on that.
such a traumatic. Well, I thought maybe it was just me, but it's your body.
Cooley Creative invoice, 12,000. Letter of appreciation for Karen Fox
But then
of
you say
tourism.
Your body, if your body's ever in the cardiac, your body will start shutting down and it's lost blood. It's something that you have no control. I'm like, okay, to know. No, I'm with her.
Development Services Letter of Support, periodic table updates. Two signature pages on renew.
So you would like not be doing any of her plasma.
I got my shoulders on. I was definitely when I walked out.
Surplus of Sheriff's Office Axon tasers. Cindy, thanks for keeping those in order, because I would have gotten them all jacked up. Thank you. Is that Kevin now?
I think it's you.
Well, it's really, each time your guys' phones have rang, my pump is going off at the same time. I thought that was mine. That is so
Almost
weird.
time.
That's the Herald.
Close the meeting.
What we do, what you do now.
What did we do recently? The
Is
Herald was
she, is
called.
the Herald on today?
They were.
Nobody was on.
Oh, we only have 3.
This have to do with the.
Called me 3 times, so.
Oh. Well, answer your phone.
Let the administrator answer it.
Forward all your phones to Tom. Why not? Okay.
All right, it is 11:10 a.m. and we are ending our weekly commissioner meeting now. We will be back at 2:30 for an open record public hearing, development agreement with Quincy Solar. Good afternoon. It is October 7th, 2:30 p.m., 2025. We are here to consider a request for a development agreement with Quincy Solar Energy LLC, John W. Gebers and Alicia A. Gebers, Grant County Conservation District, for the Quincy Solar Energy Project 19-0341. To give us an overview, we have Jim Anderson Cook, our Development Services Director.
Thank you, Chairman Jones, Commissioner Burgess. Yes, we are here today to consider the First Amendment to the development agreement for the Quincy Solar Energy Project, which is made between Grant County, Quincy Solar Energy LLC, the Columbia Basin Conservation District, and the property owners, as mentioned. This amendment reflects updated terms for the photovoltaic solar generation and energy storage facility capable of producing up to 120 megawatts and connecting to the Grant Public Utility District grid. Key changes clarify the project description, confirm access, and update obligations for decommissioning. Notably, the developer must fully decommission the site within 3 years of project closure or termination and restore the property, posting financial security in advance. The county retains oversight and discretion during decommissioning, including rights to enter the property if needed. Default provisions and remedies are also updated. Should the developer fail to perform, the county may terminate the agreement and use posted security to complete decommissioning. Assignment of developer rights now requires county approval for non-affiliates to ensure future compliance. The amendment is effective upon board passage and payment of related fees, and all prior terms remain in force except as specifically modified. This is a private development and the county's role remains regulatory only. The amendment ensures long-term protection and responsible closure of the project while confirming compliance with state and local requirements. I will now take questions.
When did this one originally began? In June 23rd, 2020?
It was originally approved in 2020. The application was made in 2019 under a conditional use permit for a utility other, and it was made prior to the current ordinance that we have for large-scale solar. It was after the approval of this conditional use permit application P190341 that the county went into a moratorium to establish, to study and then establish the current solar ordinance that we have today.
Commissioners, do you have any questions for Jim?
Possibly. Sorry, Jim. Got way late in the hallway with a citizen complaint.
Jim, in the third paragraph, it says, whereas the project received approval from Grant County Hearing Examiner on August 2/14. Is that supposed to be the 21st or the 14th?
Typo.
It's just a typo. I just want to make sure.
Let's see. In Commissioner Burgess, where you see that? What page you see that on?
First page.
First page in section 3.
Sorry, it's on the resolution.
So that would be a typo.
Right before the decision.
So the project received approval from the Grant County Hearings Examiner on August 14th of 2020. And is that, I don't have a copy of the resolution in front of me, so.
It's 2/14, so we need to remove that too on ours.
Okay, thanks for catching that.
As long as it's correct.
So I can give a maybe a little bit better description. So in this approval, in the August 14th, 2020 approval, the hearings examiner obviously approved the conditional use permit to allow for the photovoltaic large-scale solar facility. We also entered into a development agreement between Grant County, then the Grant County Conservation District, and the developer Invenergy or Quincy Solar Energy LLC. And that development agreement proposed a mitigation project to be determined and established mitigation monies to be paid to Grant County Conservation District in the sum of roughly $170,000. those monies are to be paid to the Conservation District upon completion of the project, which is estimated to be likely in 2027. So this development agreement, this amendment to the development agreement makes reference to the existing development agreement, which is why it's an amendment, recognizes a name change from Grant County Conservation District to the Columbia Basin Conservation District, and also then establishes the decommissioning and restoration plan and acceptance of that plan, and establishes bonding and then the renewal process for the life of the project. That's effectively what's in front of us today. But and also I will add, in the past, the existing development agreement did not bind the property owner to the development agreement, whereas this one does.
Any questions?
No, I don't have any other questions.
Any questions for you, Cindy?
No, I will probably just abstain from everything since I missed part of it.
Okay. Then I will open up the public comment portion of this hearing. Do any members of the audience have public comment? Caitlin, we have 3 call-in users.
We have a phone call-in listener, Harold Cross, and planning staff. I have given you the ability to unmute if you have any public comment.
Is this person part of this one? No.
No, but he's welcome to come in.
Okay, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to close the public comment portion of this hearing.
That's a move.
I will second. Motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay or abstain.
Abstain.
I will entertain a motion to approve this request of a development agreement with Quincy Solar Energy LLC, John Gevers, Alicia Gevers, and Grant County Conservation District for the Quincy Solar Energy Project, CUP 19-0341.
I move we accept this resolution as written.
I will second. Motion and a second. Any discussion? Just note the Scrivener error for the date being August 14th of 2020. Any other discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed say nay or abstain.
Abstain.
Motion passes as presented today. Thank you. That concludes our public hearing.
Thank you.
Tell me you'd be
Good afternoon. It is Tuesday, October 7th, 3 p.m., and we are here to consider an application from Royal Soil LLC for a franchise to enter upon, construct, operate, and maintain certain facilities upon county roads within Grant County, state of Washington. To give us an overview from Public Works, we have Catherine Brent and Dave Dirty. Would you guys like to come to the table?
I'll turn the time over to Dave Dirting.
This is phase 2 of the T-Water infrastructure that Royal Soil is putting in. Engineering staff at Grant County Public Works, we recommend that this be approved. And at this time, I'd like Jeff Galassi to come and answer any questions or give us a preview of phase 2.
Right there, just state your name for the record.
Jeff Galassi, 22889 Road, P.8 Southwest in Mattawa, 99349.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Jeff. I'm looking at the map between Road 11 and 10.5, Road O. So it's just a half-mile stretch. Is that, because it's in yellow, is that the only place, or does it continue on?
No, there's highlighted on the map is only the places where we would require the franchise agreement for public right-of-way. The rest is on private held land.
The blue then is the private held?
I'm not sure, I can't remember the colors.
Blue is shared trench.
Yeah, blue is shared trench. I appeared before this body, or nearly this body, last year when we were approved a franchise agreement for a 6-inch pipeline that actually carried the effluent that's coming from the dairy. And now this phase 2 joins up fresh water that's been purchased from the Bureau of Reclamation to join with that T-water as a part of an effluent management process. And that yellow line is just the T-water, and then the blue line going up is the shared, and the blue line stops because we get to a portion where we have owned property on one side of the right-of-way, which when we do, the pipeline comes into the private property until a point where we run out of private property, and then we re-enter the public right-of-way. So that's why that line is intermittent. And there's another section.
There's a little red one.
There's a little section that's red towards the west on Road 11.
Okay, yep.
Where we would cross to the north side of, we would cross into that field and then diagonally join where the yellow and the blue line match through private property. I didn't show the private property lines on here because that's not part of what we would include in the franchise agreement.
Okay, so
I actually directed him not to show those, so. Yeah.
okay, so when there's a gap between the blue lines, that is going on private property.
Right, that's where it goes onto private property, and then it continues north until the end of that property and then rejoins on the O Road right-of-way.
Okay, thank you for clarifying. Oh, and there's a little map right next to us, okay. I was so intently looking at the legend.
When we were approved for the first franchise agreement, the advice was get the second one in right away, and I guess this is right away.
Okay.
So here we are.
Because there's other people in the room and stuff, why don't you explain what the T-water is?
The T-water is effluent that originates as the washdown from a dairy. It's the urine and manure washdown from the milk parlor and from the feed bunks. That water is applied over the top of worm beds that are filled with wood chips, recycled wood chips from orchards and vineyards, and then those worms digest that dairy effluent, and that water that comes out is a clear brown colored water that looks like tea, not the same color as tea, so we call it tea water. It's got a very low particulate count. That water is being transported as part of this effluent management program up to the top of Frenchman Hills with the fresh water to become an agricultural additive for carbon regeneration in actual crops. So the Bureau likes the program because it takes the effluent away from populated areas, it takes it away from their water sources and takes it to a place where it can be handled and processed effectively without risk of contamination on the rest of the clean water.
I have no other questions.
No questions, any concerns?
I know Dave has concerns, but I will say in front of the group that we'll follow all the rules, we'll follow all the guidelines, we'll get the proper work permits.
Jeff has been excellent in all of his projects of working with Public Works and making sure that everything was done correctly, so, yeah.
And we'll do the same with this.
Yeah.
All right. No further questions? All right.
Thank you.
Then we'll now Open up the public comment portion of this hearing. Do we have anyone in the audience that has public comment for this hearing? Hearing none, we have no call-in users any longer, so I'll entertain a motion to close the public comment.
So moved.
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes to close the public comment portion of this hearing. I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move that we follow the recommendation of the planning department and approve the franchise agreement as presented.
I'll second that.
There's been a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes to approve the franchise agreement as stated by Commissioner Carter. Thank you. This concludes our public hearing at 3:07 p.m. We will be back at 3:15 for a open record public hearing for a budget extension request for SIP. Good afternoon. It is Tuesday, October 7th, 3:15 p.m. and we are here for an open record public hearing to consider the following budget extension request. Strategic Infrastructure Program 2025-02, City of Moses Lake for SR 17 Yonezawa intersection project in the amount of $375,000. To give us a quick overview, we have Caitlin Manel with us today.
Hello, Commissioners. So this is a budget extension for the Strategic Infrastructure Program, Project 2025-02 for the City of Moses Lake, Yonezawa Roundabout project. This was reviewed by the Grant County Economic Development Council and presented to the Commissioners on September 16th. So this is just a budget extension for the funds for this project.
And it was approved on the 16th?
Yes. To set the hearing for this.
Okay, but not the approval of the 375,000?
The request was for the public hearing and budget extension. It came from our grants admin specialist, who unfortunately is not in today. So you just have me giving you the summary. The recommendation from the Economic Development Council Advisory Committee for project review was to recommend the $375,000 grant. The project will allow access to the development of east of SR 17 as a gateway commercial zone. Principal uses will include retail, commercial, multifamily residence, offices, restaurants, and hotel motels. This will greatly impact property and sales tax improvements and create 48 to 630 jobs in the next 3 to 5 years. This project will also increase the safety of the area for vehicles and pedestrians. The roundabout will be critical in connecting Moses Lake's streets, utilities, and community to schools, new retail, housing, offices, recreation, dining, and employment opportunities. Committee is only recommending the $375,000 due to available funds in the SIP account.
Previously, we've approved, I just am more of a process, we've approved like the SIP, so we approved to have a hearing. So I guess if we don't, not that I don't disagree with this, but if we don't agree with this, where would this be the opportunity to say instead of 375, we want to go to 300? Because typically we do approve the SIP, and I feel like that was kind of bypassed, so this is
a request for a public hearing to do it.
Extension.
And now we have a budget extension to do it. And then when is a process to approve it, the SIP? Or is this a time period that we would?
Both.
Well, I just want to confirm, because normally we approve it and then we start the process. So I don't believe that it's been never approved prior. I'm trying to figure out the process.
you like me to search in Laserfish?
You're just the wrong person to give this overview. Can't answer any of the questions that I have either, so.
Looks like the letter was sent out from the Economic Development Council in February.
February, so is this an extension or is this the approval for hearing?
So if we go ahead and approve the 375,000 to be, it's just a budget extension. I guess my question is, if we only wanted to give like 250,000, or is this the approval for both? And typically we do approve it prior to. Kind of missed a step there somewhere.
Barb's not online.
I can get her online.
Just if she knew any more about this than we do.
I can search through records back in February and see if this was approved in February. And then the budget extension just didn't come until now. I'm not sure the history of
was
it.
approved because there was no funding, so I think everything was, but you're right. We could have.
Oh, this one says SIP committee believed to, which one? That's the wrong one. Recommendations were given as the end of February 2025. We should have enough to cover this grant and have the recommended $100,000 balance still available.
I think that, okay, for the 375. So we could move to approve the $375,000 grant. And then that would be in there, but not noting necessarily that it's just for the city of Moses Lake. That's my first question. I'll ask my board. Are you, commissioners, are you fine with the 375?
Yeah,
I believe it's a roundabout study.
Yeah, this is for that roundabout up there.
Is that a study or it's just a study though?
I wouldn't say that it's a study either. I mean, I think their intentions are is to build that roundabout. So I think this is a portion of the funds they need to get the project underway.
Okay.
They have STBG design. Where's it at? It's broken down. 645. Crazy. Where's the other one at? Oh, right here. STBG 2.1 million, 2.1 or 2.5 million. And then 750 for SIP, 1.15 adjoiners, so probably latecomers, 30% from, oh, that's the cost.
Okay, so
right
this, I
there.
see it in summary 4, number 4, summarizing everything. Okay. I have no other questions.
I think they should just have the guys that did our roundabout do it. That'd be less expensive.
Caitlin, thank you for presenting this. Sorry we have more questions than we can figure out the answers for.
I apologize that I don't have the answers.
So we're just currently doing a budget extension. That's all we're doing.
Doing a public hearing, date set, and an extension? That's what's going on, right? Request for a public hearing and budget extension.
The public hearing
right now
would be for the budget extension. This public
Okay.
hearing is for the budget extension. That was what the request was.
So it's spent $375,000 in the SIP account to be spent in 2025. And then we'll have to, after the budget extension, then we will have to approve the.
Gotcha.
There'll be an action item to approve the SIP request
I can follow up on
at a
that.
later date. Would assume. Do we have any callers?
No. Are we ready to go into public comment? Okay, we'll now open the public comment portion of this hearing. Do we have any members in the audience with public comment for this item? Hearing none. We have no call-in users at this time, so I'll entertain a motion to close the public comment portion.
So moved.
I'll second that.
There's been a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes to close the public comment portion of this hearing.
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the $375,000 budget extension.
I will second that.
There's been a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes to approve the $375,000 budget extension for the Moses Lake SR 17 Yozawa intersection project. Thank you. This concludes our hearing. We will be back for another open record public hearing at 3:30 for extended moratorium regarding utility development and use. Good afternoon. It is Tuesday, October 7th, 3:30 p.m. And we are having a public hearing for public comment on a recently extended moratorium regarding utility developments and uses. To give us an overview, we have Development Services Director Jim Anderson.
Thank you, Chairman Jones, Commissioners Burgess and Carter. The Grant County Board of Commissioners has adopted an extension to the moratorium on any and all new commercial and industrial wind projects, regardless of permit type, for an additional 6 months. This extension follows ordinance number 25032CC, originally enacted on April 1st, 2025, and is intended to give the county time to develop and review draft regulations with the Planning Commission at upcoming workshops in January and February of 2026. The purpose of this extension is to ensure that any future wind developments are compatible with the county's comprehensive plan and adequately mitigated by zoning controls. The moratorium will now expire on March 23rd of 2026 unless it's further extended. It does not affect building permit applications for wind generation sites that have already had valid land use permits, nor does it apply to residential accessory wind generation used for single-family homes. Should any portion of the moratorium be found invalid, the remaining sections will continue in effect. This moratorium extension is part of the county's continued efforts to responsibly manage wind energy development in Grant County and respond to emergency zoning concerns in the best interests of its residents. I would take any public questions.
So this is an extension to the ordinance.
It's an extension.
So whatever I read was kind of
I think you
not
read
completely accurate.
No, I think you read it correctly.
Well, this one's just because this is for me.
Oh.
But this is, it said the hearing is for public comment on recently extended moratorium, but this is a hearing to extend.
No, we've already, we extended in consent. So
Oh,
this
okay.
is a hearing to
Just for
hear,
comment?
to hear public testimony, if any. It's required that we hold a hearing within,
Okay, I got you.
yeah, within 6 weeks.
So this hearing, we will just be closing the public comment portion?
Well, we should
Taking
open.
public comment.
Yeah, we should.
Yes, taking closing.
Yep.
And then will we be making a second motion?
Nope.
Just the public comment.
Right,
portion.
this is required by.
All right. So
required by
Commissioners, do you have
statute.
any questions for Jim?
I do not. Thank you, Jim.
I do not.
Okay, we'll open up the public comment portion, continue it, open it. We have no comment in the room. We have no call-in users either. So I will entertain a motion to close the public comment portion.
So moved.
I'll second that.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes to close the public comment portion of this hearing. And this concludes our public hearings today at 3:34 p.m.
Thank you.
Thank you.